many people have asked me, like, why I continue to do what I do. And for the most part, the reason why I've created 1,400 videos and the 46-hour free sonsoflibertyacademy.com is because I really felt that if people knew what I knew, the world would change. And I basically went out and said, hey, this is the way I see the world, and tell me I'm wrong. Tell me that the world is not as screwed up as it is. And I basically did it to, reality check what I had found. And for the years that I've been doing this, nobody has given me any information that makes me want to go right back into the matrix and go, oh, okay, let me go back to voting. Let me go back to trusting the banks, the politicians, the corporations. Everything is fine. I've done this basically to confirm that I am one of the few sane people in an utterly insane world. Back on May 21st, I did a video called November 1st, 2018 is D-Day for Silver. I'm going to play that at the end of this video. For those of you who hadn't seen it, just so I don't rehash it. But basically it goes on to talk about how people need to stop waiting for a collectivist messiah, stop giving their power to these anonymous bullshit people. And, I specifically called out this QAnon meme, whatever it is out there, as bullshit. Like it's basically there to keep you hoping and thinking that there's some good guys that are working within the system against the deep state. No, this is in fact a tool of the deep state to immobilize you from doing what you need to do, which is stop paying attention to these guys and start focusing your efforts onto yourself. So I did that May 21st, and I like to think, I have no thing, but I like to think that I helped advance the conversation that QAnon is bullshit, because then there was a quote from this Susie Dawson, I guess, who does some articles, and she said that she referred to QAnon as a Pied Piper operation. What I meant by this is that an operation exists to round up people that would otherwise be dangerous to the deep state because they genuinely oppose it, and usurp their time and attention and trick them into serving its aims. Now, she wrote that May 25th, only 4 days after this video that got 29,000 views, and that was retweeted by hundreds of people. And then Roseanne Barr, who is a huge Trump supporter. She had her whole thing. I know she's seen my video on cannabis because she had thumbs up it or something from one of my subscribers. I know she's on YouTube quite often, and that she is a truth seeker. Like, I don't think that she's a bad person. I just think that she's, maybe misled in some of the things. But she ran with one of these QAnon bullshit lines that said Julian Assange was freed, and that Trump gave him a pardon and stuff like that. And WikiLeaks came out and said, no, he's been gagged, isolated as a result of Trump administration's betrayal of the Constitution, and demands that those that vote for it give justice to Julian Assange. And then Roseanne wrote bullshit. And WikiLeaks basically threw this right back in her face. The quote from Susie Dawson, which was only a couple days after, and this was 2 days after, this Susie Dawson wrote, and referred back to the exact same thing, that QAnon is a Pied Piper operation. And the reason why I bring this up is because, one, I am very suspect of anything that comes onto the scene and is immediately popular and people are talking about it. That was one of the reasons why I was initially reticent to Bitcoin, because it came on and it was like I got 5 different emails from 5 different people, all within the same 2 days about the, what is this? Why aren't you talking about this, all the other stuff? And I realized pretty early on that this is not a organic, real solution. It's one in probably which that is being played onto people to get them to follow along. Because ultimately, the most important thing you have to learn is that you are the center of power. All these corporations, these politics, all this other stuff, they're always worried about how you perceive things. And the more that people walk away from it, that's when the system starts becoming that's when you start becoming more dangerous to the system, because you don't need it. You never have needed it. They thrive on these middlemen, these troublemakers, these parasites, these amalgamators of power. They want you to be fearful. They want you to be hopeful. They want you to play along in the game, vote in their systems. That's what they want. And then came an article that I saw on Zero Hedge. Zero Hedge, by the way, please fix your whole advertising thing. Like, I can't I can't stand watching your site now. It's got pop-ups and banners, and if somebody can tell me how to get a ad blocker that works on Zero Hedge, please let me know in the comment section below, because I will get it. But there was an article on Zero Hedge talking about from Caitlin Johnstone of Medium.com that says anyone promoting regime change in Iran is an evil piece of shit, and I fully agree with that. But she quotes a QAnon post from June 19th, only, 5 days ago, that says, "Free Iran, fight, 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 regime change, power to the people, we stand with you, Q." And as you know, Iran has been the center focus point of these Zionist, neocon, debt and death warmongers since, George Bush says that they were part of the axis of evil. People don't understand the reason why Iran hates us is because we have fucked with them since 1953 when we overthrew in the Operation Ajax a democratically elected Mossadegh who simply wanted a split of the oil profits, no longer the only 3%. The British Petroleum signed a deal with Iranian, warmonger, the whoever was in charge of Iran at the time. Basically bribed them with Rolls Royces and a few gold coins and said, hey, we're going to take your oil and give you only 3%. And Mossadegh came back to the bargaining table and said, okay, that's done. We want half. And that's when the CIA went in there with MI6 and overthrew Mossadegh, the democratically elected Mossadegh, and put in the Shah. And when the Shah was in power for too long with his Savak and totally destroying the Iranian people there, the United States then supported Saddam Hussein with the 8-year Iran-Iraq war that cost Iran 1 million men. 1 million! And you wonder why they don't like us. And then now we have military bases all around them. And for anybody, QAnon, Trump, any of these fuckers that are looking to start another war with probably the last nation that won't have a Rothschild-owned bank is insane. They're an evil piece of shit. So anybody who thinks QAnon is against the deep state, anybody who thinks that QAnon or that Trump is somehow bringing the good guys back into power, you're a fool. You're a fool. And I'm tired of it. So don't send me these emails. Stop quoting things you're part of a psyop. You're a fool. Well, you're either a fool or a troll. One of those two things are going to happen, because this quote proves that QAnon is a deep state, Zionist, debt and death warmonger. Anybody who thinks that Iran needs to have regime change and that we need to somehow overthrow this country, to quote Caitlin Johnstone, you're an evil piece of shit. For those people who are interested in actually changing their own personal lives, becoming their own power, becoming their own central bank, becoming free and independent, logical thinker that no longer looks for, thumb-sucking, people who are going to come and save them, the first and easiest thing you could be doing is pulling your wealth outside of this digital illusion of wealth, this global generational debt-based fiat Ponzi scheme. For those of you who are sad about how far this country has fallen from its ideals, from its founding fathers, and how much power that we've lost, and that the taxation that we now deal with is far more than what was put on us before Revolutionary War times, and that we have this government intrusion and agencies coming into our lives, I've created a mini mintage called Colossus. It is a proof silver round. It is available over at goldenstatemint.com, and it shows the Statue of Liberty crying for what this country once was, and won't be again until individuals start taking personal responsibility and stop looking for government and some collectivist saviors to come save them. I also have another day left of the mini mintage. Every week I make one design once for a one-time only that comes with a certificate of authenticity. This is part of this Chakra 7 series. Solar plexus, this is the third one. Beautiful designs that show the different chakras, and it will be a collector's edition. We also have a blitz sale. Every week during the summer, we're going to have a new blitz sale on one of our BU products. This week, it's a really cool one called Pieces of 8, probably one of the best pirate coin sculptures that we've done. On the reverse, it's got a unique design where you could actually cut it in eighths. I don't know what machine you would use to cut an ounce of silver in eighths, but that's what the Pieces of 8 used to be. They used to divide coins down into pieces of 8 and, be able to give the silver out through that way. So that's available for $1.50 over spot, any quantity, which is probably the best that we've ever done on this design. And that's, I don't know how long those run for, but when you see them, grab them. And all of these over at Golden State Mint. And then just for a reminder, I'm going to play the rest of this video that I did on my rant about why people need to stop believing in collectivist messiahs. Thanks. Every day I get emails from people of either saying that they have some secret super sauce or secret source, and that this planned day and everything's planned and there's good guys and bad guys, and that the day of the dollars on this specific day. I got an email today from this one guy saying November 1st, 2018 is D-Day for silver. Mark it on your calendar. All fiat paper money will go to zero in one day. It's already planned for a few decades for the specific date. I get other guys saying we got insiders in the White House, Anon, Q, and we got Pastor Lindsey Williams, and we got Bix Weir, and we got super secret economists and secret sources, and it's like a whole doom pornography that goes on out there of people wanting to believe that there's something going to happen and that there's insiders working on it, and just hold tight and all that other stuff. I don't like this stuff. It demoralizes people. It plays to people's lower minds, where we're like children that need to be fed fables and stories of heroes and stuff, and disempowering ourselves from what needs to happen. There's more than enough logic and facts out there to make the case for what you need to be doing. The system is unsustainable. The people that are in charge of it are fucking bad people. They don't give a shit about the system. They just want more from you. You are the source of power. And as soon as you stop giving your power to outside forces by watching TV, voting, your careers, your banking system, paying attention to these doomed pornographers, and start focusing on the things that are in your power, like your health, where you focus your attention to, where you store your physical wealth, what people that you keep in your lives, if they're toxic or if they're abundant people. These are the things that matter. And it frustrates me that this continues to happen on a daily basis, and more the fact that people would reach out to me thinking somehow I'm going to go, ooh, November 1st, that's the date. You don't need to have some secret sauce to know that every single day you need to be working on taking care of yourself, things that you can control, and stop worrying about anything outside of your control. That's how you become powerful. That's how you become independent. That's how you become dangerous to the guys that you supposedly are against. The day that you stop paying attention to them and start focusing on the things that you can control is the day that you become free. Man is free the moment that he wishes to be. And so long as you guys keep drawing views, like now because of this title that I put on here, I'm probably going to have 20,000, 50,000 views on this, and it's basically going to tell you exactly what you need to be doing, which is focusing on what you can control, and stop wasting your time on YouTube. Stop chasing after these newsletters and guys with these secret Anon and all this other stuff. Who gives a shit? At the end of the day, the only thing that matters is what you have in your hands. If your money's in the banking system, you're at risk. If your job is, part of this 70% consumer economy, you're at risk. If your health is poor, you're at risk. If you have toxic relationships, you're at risk. That's why I think people are like, this incessant need of wanting somebody to come save them from themselves. Nobody's coming to get you. Nobody's going to save you from yourself. You are the only one that can do all this stuff. And I know people don't like hearing this from me, whatever. I don't care. I'm not here to soothe you. I'm not here to give you false hope, false collectivist messiahs. Everybody fell for Trump, and now the guy's, being pranced around in Jerusalem, with the thing as this being a big savior to Israel. I warned you guys that he was a Zionist, that they're going to spend more trillions of dollars, more money in the Middle East, destabilizing the Middle East, and yet, somehow he's good for America. The wall's not built, but somehow Israel gets everything that they want. Nobody's coming to save you. Nobody's coming to get you. You need to focus on your primary purpose here on earth, which is developing the skills and talents and passions and power within you. You are not born broken. You are not born, incapable of taking care of yourself. If you're in toxic relationships, be a man and get out of it. If you're in You know, if you hate your job, start developing a skill set on the outside. Start chasing your passions part-time. Get up in the morning, work on, you know, getting yourself into shape. These are the things that need to happen, and stop chasing after, you know, super secret guys with super sauce saying that they're going to, you know, someday everything's going to be fixed. No, regardless of what happens in the outside world, your world is only influenced by what you do on a consistent basis. And that's the most powerful thing. A determined man making extra effort every day on developing the things that are important and valuable to himself is unstoppable. You cannot stop that unless you know, you get imprisoned and, you know, you're thrown down in Guantanamo Bay. And even then, you know, you focus on what you can control, which is basically you just that cell. But the more that you worry about the outside world, it disempowers you and makes you feel like a child in a crazy world instead of a man who's in control of his thoughts and minds and his actions.